How much do you actually need to retire? Go ahead and type that into your phone right now, and every single answer screams the same thing at you. $1 million. 2 million. Some guy in a suit says 5. So you glance at your bank account, do the quick math on your paycheck, and decide deep down that retirement is a thing that happens to other people. Give me the next 10 minutes because that number you just saw is almost certainly wrong. For most people watching this, the real number is far smaller, and it is far closer than $1 million of fear will ever let you believe. I am going to hand you your actual number at your exact age plus the monthly amount it takes to get there starting today. And halfway through, I'm going to show you the number that lets you stop saving for retirement completely, years earlier than you think. Skip the usual save 50% of your income and eat rice speech. This is the honest math nobody bothers to walk you through. So stay with me, because the part that changes everything is the part almost no one tells you. Let's start by killing the thing every retirement article gets wrong. They tie your number to your income. You earn this, so you need that. But your future self lives on your spending, plain and simple, and the salary you earn today has almost nothing to do with it. Nobody retires and keeps funding the paycheck they used to earn. They fund the life they actually live, day to day. So the real question was never how much do I make? It is a much simpler one. How much do I spend in a year? And here's the uncomfortable part, the reason people panic and reach for a scary round million. Most of them cannot answer that question. They know their salary down to the dollar, and they have no clue where it actually goes. They are guessing blind, so they guess big and terrifying. The moment you know your real yearly spending, the fog clears, because turning that into a target is the one part of this that is actually settled. You have probably bumped into the shortcut before. A sensible portfolio can hand you about 4% of itself every year forever without you ever cracking into the core. Flip that around, and it just means your pot needs to be roughly 25 times what you spend in a year. So the headlines take a $50,000 lifestyle and tell you that you need $1.25 million, and that is exactly where the fear is born. But those headlines conveniently forget the single biggest check most retirees will ever receive. And the moment you add it back in, that scary number falls apart in the best possible way. Here is the piece almost nobody subtracts, and it changes the whole picture. You are not going to fund retirement alone. The average retired worker in America right now collects a Social Security check of about $2,000 a month. That is roughly $25,000 a year, showing up in your account whether the market is soaring or on fire. For a typical retired household, Social Security already covers close to half the bills, so watch what that does to the scary number. Say you want to live on $50,000 a year. Social Security hands you around 25 of it, which means your investments only have to cover the other 25,000. 25 times. 25,000 is about $625,000, not $1.25 million. Roughly half of the number that has been stressing you out for years. Now, let me be straight with you because I am not here to sell you a fairy tale. If you are in your 20s or 30s, do not bet your whole plan on that check surviving decades of politics untouched. Shave it down in your head, count on maybe 70% of it, and nudge your target up a little to stay safe. But even after that haircut, your number lands far under that terrifying million, down in a range a normal person on a normal salary can actually build. Let me prove it, at whatever age you happen to be sitting at right now. And before you doubt that 4% rule, know that it is not something I made up on a whiteboard. It was stress tested against 100 years of history. The Great Depression, the brutal 1970s, the 2008 crash. In nearly every stretch, a portfolio pulling 4% a year lasted the full 30-year retirement, and often the person died richer than the day they retired. This is one of the most tested ideas in all of personal finance. So trust the math and let's find your ROW. Here it is. This is the monthly amount going into a plain index fund to land you in that $600,000 neighborhood by 65. And I am using the market's average return after inflation is stripped out, so every figure I say is in today's dollars. No funny money, no pretending. If you start at 25, it takes about $240 a month. That is it. Less than a lot of car payments buys you an entire retirement. Start at 30 and it is around $350 a month. At 35, about $500. At 40, it climbs to $750. At 45, $1,200 a month. And if you are 50 starting from nothing, it is close to $2,000 a month, which is brutal. Now look at the shape of those numbers, because the shape is the whole lesson. They did not rise in a gentle straight line. They exploded at the end. 200, 350, 500, and then boom, it doubles and doubles again. And that happens because of a thing almost nobody feels until it is far too late. Compound growth is backloaded. Your money does almost nothing at the start and does the heaviest lifting at the very end. If you start at 25, you might sit around $300,000 by age 55. And then in the final 10 years alone, that grows into more than 600. The last decade builds more wealth than the first 30 combined while you sit there and do nothing. Which means the boring early years, the ones where you put money in and the balance barely moves, those are the years doing all the real work. Giving up in year 3 is walking away 1 minute before the machine finally switches on. There is one silent mistake that wrecks this whole thing, and I need you to hear it, because half the people watching are making it right now. They do save. But they save into a checking or savings account earning almost nothing, and inflation slowly eats it from the inside. Saving money and investing money are two completely different acts. Cash sitting in a bank loses a little of its power every single year. That same money put into an index fund that owns the biggest companies in the country is what actually produces the backloaded magic I just described. If you take one thing from this video, let it be that the money has to be invested, not just parked in a bank. Parked money slowly shrinks. Invested money is what carries you into retirement. Now, the idea I promised you at the start, the one that genuinely changes how you see all of this. You do not have to save the entire way to 65. There is a moment where your investments get big enough to grow into your full number completely on their own, even if you never add another dollar. It is called your coast number, and here is how wild it is. If you can get about $80,000 invested by age 35, you could stop contributing to retirement entirely, never add another cent, and still coast to that $600,000 plus by 65, purely on growth. $80,000, not $600. Once you cross your coast number, retirement is handled in the background, and every dollar you earn after that is freed up for your actual life. The house, the kids, the trips you keep putting off. Today without guilt, because future you is already taken care of. Most people grind anxiously toward the full number for 40 straight years. The people who understand this throw everything at it early, hit the coast number in their 30s, and then exhale for the rest of their lives. That is the real target for your 20s and 30s. Not the million, the coast. So if the number is this reachable, why does almost everyone still miss it? The answer has nothing to do with the market or your salary. It is one thing that grows right alongside your income. Lifestyle creep. Every time a raise lands and you let your spending drift up to swallow it, you are not just spending more this month, you are permanently raising the number you will need forever. Here is the math that should make you sit up. Every extra $1,000 a month you get comfortable spending adds $300,000 to your retirement target. One nicer apartment, one bigger car payment, slid in casually after a promotion, and you just pushed your finish line back by years without noticing. This is the real trap. People chase a bigger and bigger number their entire lives, while making that number bigger every time they get paid. You are the one who sets your retirement figure every month with whatever you decide is normal. Wall Street has nothing to do with it. Keep your normal a little below what you can afford, and the entire mountain shrinks in front of you. So here is exactly what to do tonight, and it takes about 15 minutes. First, open your bank app and add up what actually left your account over the last 12 months. Be honest, no flattering estimates. That real spending number, minus the Social Security you can count on, is the slice of life your investments actually have to cover. And it is almost always smaller and friendlier than the million floating in your head. Second, and this is the real move, find your age in the list I gave you and set up one automatic transfer into an index fund for that monthly amount on payday before your brain can invent a reason not to. If the full figure feels heavy this month, start with anything at all, because starting at 25 with $200 a month beats starting at 40 with $500 every single time. Then keep your eyes on the coast number, because the day you cross it is the day retirement stops being a weight you carry and starts running on its own. Strip away all the noise, and this comes down to one quiet habit. Buying back your future one automatic transfer at a time, until the checks the market sends you grow larger than the paycheck you spent your whole life chasing. Forget the scary headline. What matters is your age, your monthly number, and the nerve to start before the cheap years are gone for good. Start that transfer tonight. A year from now, you will already be climbing, while everyone around you is still typing that same question into their phone, chasing a number that was never even theirs. If this made retirement finally feel like something you can actually reach, subscribe. We turn the way money truly works into something you can see, and I will see you in the next one.